Okay, so let's bring in our footage, open, and I'm going to choose the first image of the sequence here and click on OK here. The default frame rate here is 24. Let's keep it at that. Okay, so we're going to start with creating trackers here with the wand for create trackers. And for key here, it's good to keep it around 2 or 3 keyframes. If the shot moves around a lot, then lower the keyframe, 2 or so, 3. If it moves pretty slow, you could do 3, 4. But I'll keep it at, let's see here. This is not moving too much, so 2 or 3 is good. Okay, so go to the beginning here and get some points. Let's see here. This is the analyze area and this is the search area. Okay, so for the next frame, it's going to look for the exact same pixels like this and try to match it with the next one. And it's only going to search in this area. So if your shot is bouncing around a lot, you might want to increase this larger so that when it goes to the next frame, it's looking for roughly this size instead of the whole footage. Okay. All right, so let's go forward. I'm pressing the forward key here and just making sure that it's always staying there. Okay. And if your shot gamma or gain is too low or too high, you can always increase this to see if there's any detail hidden. Okay, and you can right click on this to level it out or zero it back to default. Okay, and as I go forward, you see that it will create these keyframes here. And just do one last check here. It seems like it's going. Oh, I forgot the first frame here. Click on back and track back to 0. Okay, and remember to always right click and lock on your shot, okay, on your tracking marker. Okay, so that's one marker there. And generally at a minimum you want 5 or 7 markers for the foreground, 5 or 7 or so for the background, so you get a lot of parallax. Okay, so minimum you always want to try to get at least 20 markers. Okay, and depending on what you want to do or how bad the shot is, you might want to get more tracking markers. So let's see here, that's coming close to the border here, so I'm going to increase my search area a little bit just to make sure it doesn't slip off. So you can see that the analyzed area is bouncing up and down. That means the previous frame, it had to move that much. Okay, so within that area. So that looks good. I just want to make sure it doesn't jump from one pipe to the other. So right now it's on this third pipe right here, 1, 2, 3. And I just want to make sure it stays there. Did I start off with the third pipe? Oh no, I start off with the second pipe, so it got confused. So let's see where it jumped. Oh, it made the jump right here, see. So I'm going to truncate this, and maybe I can lower the search a little bit. Let's see, truncate. Okay, so it doesn't seem like it's holding here, so we can always manually move this up here. Okay, right, and then keep going, so it keeps wanting to jump here. Maybe that's not a good point. We can do it manually, but that will take forever. It keeps asking to save, so I'm going to save here. Let's click on save. Okay, and I'll use this one. That way it doesn't confuse it or jump over there. So let's try again. Okay, and I'm keeping an eye over. Oh, okay, so it lost. That means my chances are my search area was too small. We'll go back to the last known good frames. Right click truncate and expand this out a little bit. Okay, so that should do it. I don't think it's jumping to the next frame further than this distance of the analyze box. Okay. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to pause it and track a good amount of points, and we'll get back. Okay, so one of a problematic issue about this shot is the foreground points aren't that great because it jumps from, like, say here to here because it looks alike. So I'm going to try to track this shot and show you the problem with this and how we overcome this. So if I go forward here, it's going to eventually jump off the screen here. Now we can manually grab it frame by frame here, so just to make sure it's consistent. So I'm going to try to position it so it kind of matches here, but it will again eventually jump off, and I can only do it for so many frames. Okay, here. But what we can do is also lock it here. Okay, and remember the location here. And then now when it goes back up, I'm going to create another one here and track. Okay, hopefully keep up. Maybe let's see here. Okay, so let's lock it here. See if there's any other ones. Back up here. So this is our third tracker here. Lock. Let's see if that's leaving off here. Third, maybe here again. Our fourth tracker. Okay, lock. So there's 4 trackers tracking on the same point here. So what I can do is, so I have this last one here selected on red. I'm going to press shift, and then the third one appears. I'm going to press shift and select. So I have 2 trackers. Shift, press another one. So I have 3 selected, and the first one 4. So I have 4 trackers selected here. Okay, and we can go up to, let's see, where's it at? Track, combine selected trackers, or shift 7. Okay, so when you do shift 7, you'll see that it connects all 4 into one. Okay, so 4 of those markers became one. So that's how you deal with, sometimes you don't have foreground or background tracking markers. You can do the same for things that are hidden in the back. Like if you have like a car coming in front or a tree passing something, that's how you connect those points. Okay, so I'll be doing that a lot. This problem right here, we need like a corner or these where they intersect so we can place our geometry, but the problem with this is you'll see that it comes off, it flies off the screen too eventually. Okay. Actually, this is looking okay. Yeah, it flies off there. So I'm going to go back and lock and then see if it goes back up. So it goes back up here. I'm going to get more and then off there. So I got 2. Is it worth getting another one here? Okay, yeah, it is. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so that's 3 markers locked. I'm going to scrub back. Press shift select. Shift select. So I think that's 3. Yep, 3. And then I'm going to hit shift 7 to combine all of those down here. So you see that it's one marker down there. Okay. Okay. Let's try to get maybe this one here so we can build our geometry. Okay. And these will probably be good points for our XY plane for the ground plane. Okay. Or origin XY. Okay, oops, it's off there. I probably truncate. I don't need after that. Locked. Okay, I guess, yeah, I suppose I can go ahead. Get it there. Let me expand this out a little bit longer, bigger. Okay, locked. And I'm going to scoot back. Okay. Shift and shift select and then shift. Let's see here. I got both of them selected. Yep. Shift 7 to combine. So they are now combined to those. Okay. At this point, it will probably solve, but let's get a couple of shots for the back side here too. Okay. Just in case we want to do something like have fire or something coming out of here. Okay. And I'm going to monitor closely. We may not need to get everything back here because we have some foreground here. This is just for additional parallax or for location. If we want to place something there, replace the building. Okay. Okay, that turned out good. Locked. Go back here. Where is it at? Shift select, combine, shift 7 to combine. I'll get a couple more back here just for good parallax. be down here for one. Oops, it jumped up. Truncate. Okay, if I really need that, I'll lower the search here, see if that helps. Okay, so it's not searching the whole big area, just a small area like that. Okay. Oh, okay, I think that's good right there. So I'm going to truncate, lock. Okay, and then that's the third window down. Just remember that. So now over here, I can select. Just make sure it doesn't jump. Okay, locked, and go back. Go back to my timeline. Press Shift to add to this, and then Shift 7 again. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause a little bit and get more tracking markers. Okay, and one more thing about this weight here. If there's a point that I'm very confident in, like if I see this one here and it looks like it's tracking pretty solid here, and I'm having trouble with all the other points not being perfect, I can always go back to frame 1 here. Remember to go back to frame 1 because this gets keyframed. But at frame 1 here, you can increase this to 1 to 10. You might not want to do an exact 10 because that will 100% make this guy affect everything else. So, you know, if I feel a little bit strong about this, I can make this like say a 3 or 2, you know, weight it a little bit stronger. So that means that this will be calculated as the truth in 3D space more than all the other points. Okay. And then on the opposite side, you can zero weight it where you don't want it to necessarily have any influence on the calculation, but you need like a rough location. So it will give you the location of the marker, but not be factored into the calculation. So like if I want to do something roughly here and I just need the location, but I know like the pixel that's so hard to track here, I can give this like a zero weight marker and it will be there, but it will not be calculated in there. Okay, and you can just do a couple frames here, lock it off, go back to frame 0 and just click on zero weight here. So it will be 0 and it won't be calculated, but yet we will get the location. And I can do a couple more back here if I want to do something here. So these are all being 0 weighted here. Oops, let me truncate, increase that out a little bit longer more. Okay, oops, it's jumping over there. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna truncate this, truncate, lock, and make sure I'm back to 0 and it's 0 weight. Okay, 0 weight. Okay. All right, I think for demonstrational purposes, this might be, well, I'll probably need this here because I want the top of this. And obviously I don't want 0 weight here, but I'm gonna bring it back to 1 because I'm not confident about this in shadow here. So let's track. Oh, I'm at the last frame here. Let me go back here. And as you get more coverage here, you don't necessarily need tracking markers from start to finish. Sometimes just 10, 15, 20 frames will give you a good enough location. Okay, but obviously a marker that goes from start to finish in a pretty accurate way is good. This is drifting a little bit, but that's okay for now. And maybe I might need one back here just for location purposes. Okay. So I can place my plane or something here. And if you want to replace the top here, you can too with a marker here or something. But that's your judgment. I'll probably put one there just in case we need it. It's going against the cloud here, so that might not be the best, but let's see. And of course, we can always increase this contrast so it's not registering the clouds as much. Okay, that, so it will just look at this contrasting shape here. Now you might, if you decide to use auto for some reason, so for some unrecommended reason, this will change to this. So make sure you turn it back to this so it tracks the RGB color right here. Okay, that's a common mistake that people get confused about for a while. Okay, so that looks okay. Maybe I can unlock track backwards a little bit. So back arrow, track back. Oops, drifting a little bit. Nah, I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to get somewhere right here. The last known good. Location, truncate, and lock. All right, let's see if here. Do I need up here? You know, if you want to do something up here, then maybe we need a tracking marker here. Okay. Oops. Jumped out. Let's just truncate. Can I go the other way? Oops. Nope. Okay, that's good enough. At least I get some location there. And let me do a couple frames here so we get some location. Okay, locked. That's going against the blue sky hub. If I do need it, let me see if the white coverage. Okay, here's good. Okay, 10, 15 frames is good enough to get the location of that. Locked. Okay. Oh, and I don't have one corner over here. I have it down here, so I could, in theory, get enough to place my geometry. But let's just get one for sure here. Oh, it's too dark here. Let me right click to reset and see if I can get like a better contrast there. Okay, that might work. It might interfere with this building here. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, it's getting interference with this building. So I'm just gonna go back here and that's good enough. Truncate, locked. Okay. So now that I have all my points or enough for this, I may be missing a few foreground one, but I think that's okay for now. I'm going to go over and to my solver and hit go or shift G to track. And it seems like I have an okay setup here. Okay. So that seems to work. Now, the next thing I want to do is place my geometry, right? So I'm going to go over to my, oh, before I do that, my coordinates here. So coordinates, there's this 3 button here. I'm going to click on it and it's going to ask for the origin. I think I'll make this my origin here, or this. Depends on where you want the house, but I think here would be my origin, and then my left, right. I think now there's a problem with this geometry here. I think the roof is kind of tilted. I don't think it's lens distortion because this is fairly straight. So I think there's a problem with the roofing. So I'm just going to click on this as my left, right, and then my depth here. Maybe I can choose this or this. But this seems like a good point. So I'm going to choose that and click OK. So that should be build my ground plane here. Okay. And if I go to my 3D geometry under box here, I'm going to go to plane and just create my plane here. I should get a pretty nice plane going along the house here. Okay. And right now it's in meters here, so that's obviously way too big, 70 something meters. So we're gonna have to adjust that. We have the same slight problem here, is it's going up. Maybe we might want to do this right here. Okay, I'm gonna go back into my coordinates, re-choose my orientation. It's gonna say my origin, and it's gonna say if I want to do the tracker, say yes. I'm gonna click in here. And then left, right here, and then up and down here. Okay, let's see if that helps. Okay, okay. And it doesn't seem to help that much. Why is that? Let's see. Let me see if I'm gonna go. It's a little high here. Maybe. Oh, I'm gonna go to automatic, clear this out, and resolve. Okay. All right, maybe I need to recreate my ground plane here. That one is from the old one, so I'm gonna select this one. Oops. Select, delete, and create my new one. To the coordinate system, see if that's better. Okay. Okay, that's slightly better. If I match this up, not perfect. It might be because of, yeah, see right here. It possibly be because of distortion too. A little bit of both, but that seems to work there. So let's go back. Let's go into the geometry here, and I'm going to click on scale here and see if I can scale this down to match better. I'm going to hit the backslash. It's right above the enter button to see through, and I'm going to try to scale it down so it will match here. Okay, and let's see here. Repositioning this. Okay. somewhat of a match, but not perfect. Okay. All right. So again, we probably need a lot more points in the foreground and background to get it more aligned. But for now, just for tracking purposes, that's good for now. And then I'm going to, so with this here, if you took set measurements here, this would be about, I think, 2.6 meters or something like that. Maybe see if a human stands up to here, that's 1.7, 1.8. So 2 meters. So this is either 2.6 or 2.8 meters. I'm not sure, but so whoever shot this, you can measure that to see your scale here. That way we can go under the box here, and I'm going to create my just my box geometry and see if that's roughly 2 meters here. So if we zoom in here, 2 meters is down here somewhere, right? So we know that this is off, right? 12 meters. So we're going to click in our hole button, and this is where we can grab our camera. Oops. Hole button, grab our camera, and you can start to scale down your camera, right? So that your world is smaller, okay? And that's how you do it until your house here is the 2 meter grid that we saw earlier. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down here, try to bring it back to the origin here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to scale this down a little bit more. Scale. Okay. So that's about 2 meters here. Let's see if that works. I'm going to turn off here. Click on my box here. And it's, did I overdo it? Let's see, oh, 1.7 here. So, oh yeah, I overdid it. So let's go back to here, click on scale here, scale it back up a little bit. We said 2.8, right? Apologies for jumping back for 2.8 and 2 meters. So I think like there is fine right there. So this is 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meters, so it's slightly below. That purple color is not the best color. We can change this purple to a brighter color. Let's do white here so we can always see it. All right, so let's see here. If I click on scale, 1 point, let's see here. Is that it? 1.7? Did I look at the width or length? Let's see. .7 by 2 by 5. So 5 meter, that's the length right there. And then I believe 1.7 is the length, is it? Yeah, and then the height is 2.5. Okay, so that's it. So I was a little mistaken. I flipped those two, but this is a 2.5. So it's 2.5 meters now. Okay, so we can tweak into its 2.8, but you get the idea. And then from there, I'm just going to make sure I save this, and then we can export out. Now, obviously for you, you'd want to align it exactly with these points here, right? So you can have a plane there. I think for now, because I'm going to do a demonstration for the projection mapping, I'm going to create another plane geometry here. Okay, and align it with this wall right here. So I'm going to select these 4, pressing shift, and then pressing these 4 right here. And I'm going to change this to like a pink color so I can easily identify where it is. And then I can place my wall there. Okay, so here, where is this wall in the top view? Where is it? Okay, it's back here, right? Actually, I have to bring this way back down. I don't know. Okay. Click on hole here to bring my whole world back to this way, because that's my 0, 0, 0. And then I'm going to unclick the hole and bring my wall back to there. Okay, so this is going to be my reference in my compositing software, and in our case, we're going to do Fusion. Okay, so those pink points here, I'm aligning with the pink points here. Okay, so I'm going to shrink it a little bit down. Okay, press move. Okay, getting closer. Obviously, the more accurate you set this, the better your life is in the compositing software. But you can always make it a little bit bigger and then, you know, roto it or key it out in the package. So let's make it a little bit bigger like that. Okay, I think that's good for now. And just one double check that it sticks. Okay. All right. So I'm going to save this. And at this point, I'm going to name this red wall here. Okay. Double click there and click on my wall. Okay. And we can name the other stuff whatever we want, like the building or the ground. Okay. But I'm interested in the wall right now. And then I'm going to export here. And so there's two things we need to export. First is the camera through the older Maya ASCII. Okay. And I'm going to save that in here. And I'm just going to call this my camera. Okay. Oh, before we do that, what we need to do is before we export here, let's go to, we have to remember to do this. Edit scenes, Maya up. Okay. All right. Now export out again. Export older Maya. Okay. And overwrite that. Click yes. And then for the plane here, I'm going to hide all the other stuff. Okay. Click on hide. And I'm just going to choose this mesh plane here and export FBox or film box. This one right here. Okay. And call this my wall. Okay. And just click OK. And that's it for Syntheyes for now. And we can close and save this out. See you in the second tutorial.